This is a Hat Trick
podcast.
Oh, lovely.
Welcome to In the News This Week, the podcast from some of the team who've worked on Have I Got News For You?
I'm Emerald Paston.
I'm Mike Rayment.
I'm Queenie Miller.
And I'm Jack Harris.
We'll be taking you through the big and not so big stories in the news this week when the TV show can't.
Think of it like this. If the main show is a grade A student, we're the expelled kid caught copying them. Thank you, Kemi.
Genuinely, thank you, Kemi. Sorting out those cheats.
Are we talking about this?
It seems like we are.
Yeah, I think we've got to explain that story, haven't we?
Yes. So Kemi Badenoch, leader of the Tories, did an interview that made everyone like her even more, which I didn't think was possible. She said that when she was at school, she would tell on kids that were cheating in exams. She was very proud of it. And it made her look like a bit of a neek, to be honest.
A little snitch.
A neek?
That was my thing.
Wow. Okay. Now,
I'm bringing neek back.
As Mike's not here, I'm going to have to step in and say neek. If you could please explain what you mean by a neek. Do you mean like a narc?
Mike would know what a neek is.
Neek is retro.
I'm blaming Mike for me not knowing what you mean by neek.
What?
Okay, neek is a nerd and a geek put together.
Oh, right.
So it's even more damning.
Oh, well, that's even more, that's a more lame phrase than I thought it was.
You weren't ever called a neek, Jack?
No, I think calling someone a neek fits you into the category of making you a neek. Like if you've squirted nerd and geek, then you are a neek.
Wow, that makes me feel
But
better.
if you're getting called that by your own kind, I think that's worse.
I'm going to be honest with you. Right?
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Oh my God, here he is playing devil's advocate again.
No, it's an insane thing to tell the paper to think people are going to like you more. It's a bit like Theresa May running through fields of wheat kind of thing, where they've said, oh, what's the cheekiest thing you ever did? And she's gone, oh, I did used to tell on pupils who are cheating.
The vibe of that interview was like, this is the head girl that had no friends. And she's going back in her mind and justifying why that was. And being like, no, I'm actually really great. Which, if she has to do that to cope, then I'm not going to.
Well, I'm sure she has to do it as the leader of the Tories currently, almost every day. Wake up and go, it's fine. This was a party of political standing, and it still is.
But hello, everyone.
Hello.
I am just going to apologise for my voice. I've been having too much fun in Edinburgh, and I've been laughing too much. No, I'm joking. I've been just shouting at people all day.
Shouting and crying.
Just shouting
Classic
at flyers. Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you back.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But as you'll notice, Mike is away this week, but he sent in a voice note.
Here we go.
Of course he has. Let's have a listen.
Hey guys, sorry I can't be there tonight. Ahead of the new Premier League season, I'm actually off doing a fantasy football auction. So I'll just leave a pause in there for Queenie and Jack to explain to Emerald what that is.
Oh my God.
It's almost as cool as Warhammer. Also, for married men in their 40s with kids, which is the demographic of our group, it's a sort of sacred occasion that must be protected at all costs. The rarest of meetings. So I hope you have fun tonight without me, which you probably will. No one there to be miserable about all your stories. I am sad to be missing out on the Trump and Putin chat. I saw ahead of their meeting in Alaska, Trump said, I'm going to Russia to meet Putin, which is the sort of keen geographical accuracy, which will really help him when it comes to deciding which bits of Ukraine Russia gets to keep. Donetsk, Crimea, and Milton Keynes.
Good.
Wow, Chief Neek himself.
Yeah,
Mike has spoken. I actually do need fantasy football explained to me.
I actually can't explain it because I've tried very hard to not know what it is. So I have quite a few friends, so I just thought
Don't need to know it.
better stay away from that.
To explain it anyway, it's people who have too much time on their hands and want to get stressed about football even more.
And you get points based on how well they do.
Yeah, and you've got the people who spend all week like tweaking and changing and doing this sort of stuff. And then you have the people who forget that they're playing it and then they're too late and half their team's injured. And it's always incredibly satisfying to hear that the winner of a fantasy football league is someone's partner who doesn't care about it and just got added to make up the numbers and haven't changed anything since September.
Right.
And they've somehow ended up winning it, which is always incredibly great.
Just sounds like a lot of admin.
It is basically a lot of admin. That's all it is.
Sounds kind of fun now.
Yeah, now you're like, are there spreadsheets involved? No, I'm interested.
So let's get into round one. And as Mike says in his voice note, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are meeting in the US on Friday for a feel-out meeting. A feel-out meeting. Jack, I bet you've had plenty of feel-out meetings. That's in the script and I don't actually know what that means. Am I insinuating you're a bit creepy?
I don't really know, actually, to be honest. I think our producer is insinuating that a feel-out meeting is something maybe possibly seedy which says less about me and more about them.
So true.
So, what can we expect from theirs later this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think there was a little bit of speculation over the weekend of like, is Ukraine going to be involved? Are they not? You know, who's going to be in this meeting in Alaska? And, you know, Donald Trump said at the start of the week, no, it's just me and Putin. Ukraine aren't going to be part of it. But you know what? I'm going to see what he has in mind, which is always funny, as if he's like kind of just going to go into the meeting and be like, I don't know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
And then he said, I'll call Zelensky first out of respect, which is nice. The idea that he's not going to call up Melania first and be like, yeah, it was really fun. We had a great chat. It was really good. Oh, yeah, I should probably tell Zelensky about all of the territory I've agreed for him to lose.
I feel like he also said something along the lines of he was going to speak to other European leaders and get their ideas.
And I kind of liked as well the fact that Europe just did the normal thing, which is like, they know they're not being invited, right? And they were like, what should we do? And they're like, let's just get all on a big Zoom call on Monday to talk about and basically bitch about the fact they weren't in that meeting. Presumably, like, that's the thing they're going to talk about. But also, they didn't want to go to the meeting anyway, and it's rubbish and whatever. So they don't even care. So whatever.
He's just being so blasé about these like quite important calls.
It's like a verbal shrug, isn't it? Like he sort of said, I'll try and get some land back for Ukraine, see what I can do. And he said he was going to try and get some of Ukraine's oceanfront property from Russia.
Oh my God.
And he said, oh, that's real estate's like code word for most valuable property if you weren't following it. And I really like the idea that he's going to carry on with like the real estate speak. So like after he hands away a load of Ukraine to Putin, you know, to tell Zelensky about the fact that Ukraine is going to be smaller, he'll start saying you've got to describe it as cozy.
Cozy,
Yeah, it's a really cozy little country you've got there. So be positive about it, you know, telling him to be efficient with his space.
Yeah.
Do you think he's watched too much Selling Sunset and he's like, I've heard the phrase beachfront property too many times, and now he's obsessed. He's like, Gaza, Russia, Ukraine.
I think
we're getting it.
He lives Selling Sunset. Like
He's the original Selling Sunset.
Yeah, he is. He's not even watching it. He just is there in it, you know.
Yeah.
He's talking to people at Mar-a-Lago about these oceanfront properties, and then someone's like, sorry, sir, can we take you away? Because you've got to be part of this G7 summit where you can decide the fate of these 3 countries.
Maybe he's just in the wrong meeting.
Yeah. There's an estate agent in a really high-end meeting that is just absolutely busking it. But the thing is, of any profession, they're the one people who'd be like, I reckon I can do this.
Yeah, definitely.
Like they're just
If they're
busking.
from Foxtons, yeah. So before Putin arrives, how's Trump trying to make him feel at home?
Well, he's making sure that his country feels just as militarized as Putin's, because he's been in Washington, DC this week, bringing in the National Guard yet again, his favourite move.
That's always a great sign, by the way.
Yeah.
When they have to bring in the National Guard, that's literally the universal sign for everything's going really well.
Exactly. And he says it's to tackle crime and homelessness. He said that DC is experiencing complete and total lawlessness. And I do feel like it is time to sort out this kind of lawlessness, because people are doing stuff like taking classified documents to a Florida resort or inciting full-on insurrections in the Capitol. So I feel like those sort of people probably should be in jail. And if they are already in jail, they definitely shouldn't be let out of jail. So I see where he's coming from.
I couldn't agree more.
Massive influx in Washington from January 2025.
He said that Washington, DC has been taken over by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, as well as drugged out maniacs. And I imagine he continued, and then when you leave the Oval Office, it gets even worse. Basically, we can just keep making this same joke.
Chrissy Noam did a press conference this week and was like, we're going to get these criminals, basically. And next to her was Donald Trump, convicted felon. And on the other side was none other than Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
Yeah, not exactly a stand-up guy, I think is the term you'd use. But also it's weird because apparently it's like a 30-year low in violent crime.
So I don't know where it's coming from.
Is he then just going to turn around and be like, it's the lowest it's been in 31 years because
maybe.
I've now done the National Guard? I don't know. It's very bizarre.
Really
Did
weird.
you guys see who else got warned not to aggravate Trump this week?
Baron?
It was Liam and Noel Gallagher. It was on the front of the Daily Star this week where they were like, some guy was like, don't insult him before you go on the US leg of their tour.
Oh, God, because they might not be able to go on it. Wow.
But like, I also like the idea that like, of all the things you can do to try and stop Liam Gallagher doing something is to tell him not to do it.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
And they put a photoshopped picture of Donald Trump as a baby in a red bucket hat. Well, it's quite hard to tell. Either that was Donald Trump in a bucket hat or almost every single person who's been going to the US Oasis tour. Just a topless old man in a bucket hat.
Oh, God.
That's exactly what that tourist got deported for. Having a picture of JD Vance.
JD Vance, yeah.
I'm surprised you got into New York, Jack.
Yeah, well, I've only been positive about Trump the whole time. So
That's actually true.
I think I've talked about when I've texted about Pete Hegseth in the Signal chat thing. And I also said, and he's doing a fantastic job, just in case.
Jack is caveating every single thing he says at the moment.
I need like a terms and conditions at the end of every podcast where I'm just sort of saying, to counter this point, I'll also say, what a fantastic administration they are.
That feels within the spirit of a satire show, Jack. I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
Covering your arse at every opportunity.
So that was Trump and Putin. Jack, who else have we discovered has had an international bromance this week?
Well, this is JD Vance visiting David Lammy and going to Chevening, which is like the kind of foreign secretary's summer mansion, I guess you'd call it.
Chevening honestly sounds like a portmanteau for like a wine and cheese night.
Again,
in my opinion.
A neek would come up with the term Chevening, wouldn't they?
So true.
No offence, everyone.
It's okay, I'll accept it.
I did like there was lots of headlines about it, lots of pictures of them fishing. I did like that in all the pictures you could only see them from the side with their fishing rods, and there was nothing to indicate what they were fishing or if there's even a body of water next to it.
Just fishing a ditch. That's really funny.
Like they've got one of those fairground rides and it's like the rubber ducks.
Yeah.
Like
If they did like a sort of spin-off Celebrity Gone Fishing, that would be the worst combination, I think.
really
I don't think I
would.
could think of two worse people.
the headline said, JD Vance sends warning to Europe. And I thought, is that him basically saying, look, there's going to be a haunted Cabbage Patch doll walking around the Cotswolds. So watch out for that.
Everyone, look out.
Yeah. But I saw also, it was like, there was lots of like quite fun articles about like them meeting David Lammy and JD Vance, and when they met, became friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, they like had like an hour and a half long drink at the US ambassador's residence in Rome, which sounds like a Bridget Jones, like,
Yeah, that's pretty
like
flirty.
meet cute, you know.
When in Rome.
But also, what I loved about it, JD Vance, David Lammy, and also Angela Rayner was there.
Oh, wow.
So they're having a drink. And you know, if Rayner's in attendance,
It's going to be a party.
the likelihood of them being absolutely hammered is like increased by about 1,000%.
Yeah.
And they also did that classic thing where they went to like the locals and they were like, are you fussed about JD Vance being here?
Yeah, I saw this.
And two women in their 70s who were going on their Sunday walk.
Janet and Jean was their name.
Oh, is that what the
Yeah.
Janet jeans? So good.
Heroes.
They stopped by US security officials for not being able to do their walk. And they told the police, they said, we're two old ladies. We're hardly terrorists. I thought, well, as long as you're not wearing a Palestine Action
Actually,
T-shirt.
According
you know,
to Keir Starmer,
you might be.
it wouldn't be a week with Labour in power without riling up the pensioners. Emerald, what has the government been doing to upset them this week?
They have been arresting hundreds of them in their sway.
Yay!
Police have arrested 532 people at a protest over the Palestine Action ban in London. And it was the highest recorded number of arrests in relation to a single operation in at least a decade, according to the Met Police.
It's properly mental.
It is so bizarre.
This has been a week where escalation of the fighting in Gaza is getting worse. And then our government have decided to be like, yeah, there are some little old women with placards. Let's bang them in the van, take them to prison. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Get them in the back of the van.
This seems bad.
Yeah.
This seems
I mean,
wrong.
half of the arrests were over 60s, right?
Yeah, and actually one of my favourite details was that officers searched the bags of those they arrested, and in one backpack they found some bread and a milk carton filled with water. So actually that person is just 3 ingredients away from a dangerously bland bread pudding there. So fair enough. That seems fair enough to me.
30 years, put them behind bars.
Yeah.
That Cooper has said that Palestine Action, there's some stuff that they were planning that they can't release publicly, but that would have been violent, I guess is her insinuation. But it's really hard to marry that with some peaceful protesters in their 60s being carted away.
Have you been to a Women's Institute meeting recently, though? Because they get
Have you, Jack?
pretty
Why
violent.
have you?
Oh, man, they get violent. They're not allowed to take knitting needles in
Is it
anymore.
because you're in the room? Because you weren't invited?
Can't take any sharp objects. They've got metal detectors going to those things because those women will kick off. Yeah. But obviously one of the big things is Netanyahu talking about invading Gaza City.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he's doing a lot of press conferences and stuff. And one of the things he said, which sort of, I guess, caught my eye, is the fact he said he's going to sue the New York Times for its coverage of Gaza and said, like, the images of starving children are fake. Well, part of the reason he said they were fake was because he said that a picture of like a really malnourished child, they didn't also include the context of that child having pre-existing health conditions. And you think, really good point to point out the fact that they've got a pre-existing health condition that they can't treat in the hospitals that are no longer functional because of your forced evacuation.
Yeah.
So you sort of said the quiet bit out loud, and you're like, yeah, you probably shouldn't highlight the fact that there's people there that can't reach hospitals.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, the thing about it, you look at his thing, he's saying all photos need context, right? So under that guise, then, I think it's important that whenever you see a picture of Benjamin Netanyahu, it should say something like, Prime Minister of Israel, issued with an arrest warrant for crimes against humanity by an international criminal court, currently on trial for bribery and corruption. Because then at least you give the context of who he is and what he's about. Because it really wouldn't be fair to not kind of give the proper context in terms of these things. So
the pictures,
yeah, we'd hate for that to not have the full context. And also maybe adding the fact that he likes to take his washing to the White House to get cleaned whenever he goes to visit on a state visit.
Is that true?
Yeah, it gives a bit of context to the guy.
I didn't know that.
Oikos presents 15 Seconds of Strength. Here we go. Steve's got a trunk full of groceries and no one to help him.
Oh, that's tough, Jim. Looks like a 5-trip load at least.
He grabs the first bag, the second. Bob, it looks like he's trying to do it all in one trip. He shimmies the door open, steps over the dog. Oh, and he stumbles.
Oh, right into the kitchen without missing a beat. Jim, now that's a man who eats his protein-packed Oikos.
With 15 grams of complete protein in each cup, Oikos Triple Zero can help build strength for every day. Oikos, stronger makes everything better.
Welcome back to In the News this week. It's time now for round 2, where you've each brought a story from the past week that you think would be perfect for round 2 of the TV show. Kicking us off this week is Mike with an odd one out.
Oh.
Here we bloody go.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of a round 2, I've actually got an odd one out for you this week. So your 4 are England goalkeeper Hannah Hampton, Robinson Crusoe, Queen Victoria, and Winston Churchill. Which one's the odd one out? I'll give you a clue. It's definitely one of them.
Thanks, Mike.
So Hannah Hampton had this thing about she threw the water bottle away, wasn't it? I don't know if you saw this.
No, I didn't. What was
No, I
that?
didn't.
In the women's penalty shootout, the Spanish keeper had on her water bottle a list of all the penalty takers and what side they prefer.
She threw it away.
She saw it. She just threw it into the crowd,
Naughty.
And we're sure Kemi wasn't on the sidelines in her ref's outfit.
making us lose the penalty shootout.
Kemi probably wouldn't approve of the notes being there.
Actually, what an absolute conundrum for Kemi Badenoch.
True.
Because she wouldn't approve with the kind of essentially
Cheating.
the cheat sheet.
But she also wouldn't approve of anyone having any fun. So I think it's a no-brainer.
God, her head would explode, wouldn't it?
I think Robinson Crusoe probably throws a bottle into the ocean with a message
Excellent. Yeah.
in. So that's another bottle throw. Winston Churchill, he must have slung a few bottles at people in pubs over the years.
He did love the bottle, didn't he? Is there a piece of Queen Victoria in a bottle?
Ew.
We're going to go generic.
Bottle throwing.
Yeah, please tell us what it is. Disembodied voice of Mike.
Okay, and the answer is throwing away a bottle has brought them all good fortune, except Winston Churchill,
Oh, wow.
who helped himself by throwing away the contents of a bottle. So, as I'm sure you've already worked out, Hannah Hampton was in the news this week because the England goalkeeper who saved 2 penalties in the Euro shootout against Spain admitted to throwing away the Spanish goalkeeper's bottle that had all the information about England penalty takers on it, which was incredible shithousery. Shithousery, wonderful football term that I think should be used more in politics. Robinson Crusoe. In the novel by Robert Louis Stevenson, Robinson Crusoe writes messages in bottles and throws them into the sea asking for help, and that ultimately gets him saved.
Nice.
And now we get a bit more spurious. So don't inspect the logic too much on this one. Queen Victoria, she was one of the first people to throw a champagne bottle at a ship for good luck.
Oh.
So apparently before then, the Navy used to throw a silver cup of wine overboard. But then they realised that it was costing them a lot in silver and it was actually cheaper to smash a bottle of champagne. So she used it to christen the HMS Royal Arthur, which, given the state of the British Navy, probably still in action. And the odd one out, Winston Churchill. So Churchill had a reputation for loving brandy. So whenever he went to events or dinners, people would want to pour him a big glass of brandy. And if he didn't want to get too drunk, but he didn't want to offend anyone, he'd politely accept the drink. And then apparently he's doing a lot of heavy lifting here. To avoid any embarrassment, he'd secretly pour the brandy into his shoe so he didn't have to drink it and then get drunk. And that's definitely true because I read it on the internet. So, like all good one outs, there's one story that's definitely true, one where the logic doesn't really add up, and one that, let's just say, is true. So there you go.
And they're always the odd one outs that Paul and Ian absolutely love. The more spurious, the better.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. Makes up for slacking off.
Yeah, going and doing a made-up thing instead of the podcast.
Crazy. Emerald, what story have you got for us this week?
I have a story about the Hambone Awards, which is not the awards for the sexiest Reform Party members.
Nice.
But it's in fact an award ceremony from Nationwide Pet Insurance. For their 17th year of having this, they highlight the most unusual events leading to surprise veterinary visits for pets.
Excellent.
So it's like the most unexpected ways that mostly dogs have ended up needing medical attention. And it's named in honour of a dog who ended up trapped in a refrigerator and ate an entire holiday ham.
Because dogs are the thickest. They're lovely animals. We all love them. But by God, are they thick.
I disagree, because if you were trapped in a refrigerator, would you not eat an entire holiday ham, Jack?
Yeah, I feel like the sillier thing there is getting trapped in the refrigerator. It's not eating the ham, you know? Anyway, all the nominees have since made full recoveries, but I thought I'd create a little quiz for you. So my quiz for you is, what unusual events led to a visit to the vets for these dogs? So why did Wash, a herding dog from Tennessee, lose his appetite?
Well, I'm guessing maybe it's called Wash. Maybe is named after this incident, so something got stuck in a tumble dryer or a washing machine. So if I saw spaghetti bolognese going around a tumble dryer, I don't know if I'd want to eat it.
Wait, so you're saying Wash put a spag bowl in the washing machine and that put him off his food? Is that what you're saying?
I like your thinking.
Like, I don't like it as much when you summarise it.
I was going to say, like, watching PMQs.
Did you say a herding dog?
Yes, he's a herding dog. I don't know what that means.
I feel like that's got to have some kind of significance.
I think he herds things.
Queenie, going in. What? By Jove, she's got it. She's got it.
The answer for why Wash lost his appetite is he ate too many cicadas from his family's yard.
The bug?
Yeah, he was running around their garden eating loads of them. Oh. And then he got really gassy to the point where they had to open all the windows, and then he lost his appetite.
They had to open all the windows? Sorry, that's way too gassy.
It was probably an absolute nightmare. Okay, next question. What did Duke from Ohio swallow that he shouldn't have?
This is an American, just like a Trump supporter, right?
It's the dog.
Given it's Ohio,
yeah.
Is it a copy of Hillbilly Elegy?
No, he should be swallowing that. That needs to be pulped.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But no, he swallowed an entire spatula head while licking peanut butter. He just slurped the whole.
Again, I've done that before. There are videos on the internet.
Okay, final question. What did Maddie, a bulldog from Virginia, eat that caused her to become ill? I'll give you a clue. The thing she ate was from Florida.
Oh, an alligator.
Oh, you're correct, Jack.
What?
I was going to say alligator or an American pensioner. One or the other.
Yeah, I was trying to think of any politician from Florida. I couldn't get it in time.
Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis. Did he eat Ron DeSantis?
Ron DeSantis' little booties. And there was too much
sticking out the end of the dog.
Too much heel in them. Too much heel.
This is a politician that we suspect wears heels within his shoes to make him taller.
Yes, that is the only notable thing about Ron DeSantis. Don't Google him. No,
Maddie the bulldog ate a taxidermied alligator that one of the owner's parents had brought from Florida.
Ouch.
Yeah, they found a crime scene and it had shredded bits of something next to 2 black marbles, which I'm guessing were the alligator's eyes.
Oh, is that describing the defecation?
No, I think that was the eyes.
Okay. It was like, is that processed through the body?
But that really feels like it's the sort of thing where he's made a bet with his mates.
Yeah.
And he hasn't enjoyed any of it.
Yeah.
But he's just kept on going.
You're so
I
right.
appreciate how dogged
Oh, very
was.
good.
Very nice.
Thanks, Emerald.
And Jack, what story have you gone for this week?
I saw a story, and I'll be honest with you, that might be a gateway to another story. But the main crux of the story was basically the heat wave in May raised the UK waters by 4 degrees Celsius. And so it means that we're getting like jellyfish and crabs and loads of octopus into our waters. And it means that cod and haddock are like going even further north to get to colder waters. And because we can't fish on cod and haddock that much, but you can fish as much squid as you want. So basically this article was like, should we start eating squid and chips? It turns out the British public do not want squid and chips. They're not fans. And it basically said the Brits' taste is too limited and that we're, in their words, hooked on the top 5, which is cod, haddock, salmon, tuna and prawns.
When the top 5 is the greatest 5, though, that's sort of. I'm not dying on this hill, but
You're a
I thought
vegan,
calamari
Queenie.
was quite.
The vegan comes
I like
in.
I like
with
to
the
get
best.
involved, Emerald.
I love it.
Just trying to have some fun, trying to make some friends.
I feel like
No.
once an episode, I say, you're a vegan, Queenie.
When I go on one of my Henry VIII rants. Yeah.
But I do like the idea that there's squid and chips becoming the thing that people go to now.
I thought calamari was quite popular.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. If you sell it as calamari and chips, I feel like people would be more inclined.
But then I think people will be too conscious of the fact they sound a bit fancy.
Scampi.
Well, scampi's prawn, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm vegan.
You're hooked on the top 5, Queenie. You're hooked on the top 5. You're just like the others. Basically, the reason I quite like this story because it leads into another animal eating story, which I saw, which was an update from last week's story about Aalborg Zoo. Because it caused quite a lot of uproar about this zoo in Denmark was asking people to donate their pets for food for their predators.
Yeah.
But someone in Denmark, Pernille Sol, told her personal story of what she thought about this in the Times, because she said she doesn't know what the fuss about it. It's because she donated her daughter's much-loved pony to the zoo so it could be fed to the lions.
Oh, no.
And she started telling her story, and there's some amazing details in it that I was like, I have to return to Aalborg Zoo.
She's a Disney villain.
The reason she donated her daughter's much-loved pony is because it had a skin condition. So that was the reason for donating
Wow, her
it.
pony had eczema.
It's a horse.
And also, in a sign of really solid parenting, she put the animal's fate in the hands of her 13-year-old daughter, who chose to follow the food chain, which is why it went to the zoo.
This is like Kemi Badenoch reincarnate at 13.
Yeah, expect her to be leading the right-wing party in Denmark in a few years.
She said that the pony was transported to the zoo where, according to The Sun, in their copy, he was humanely killed with a shotgun.
Oh my God, sorry. Oh my God.
I have to say here, when I read it, I was like, that does not seem right. And then when I went to the original article in the Times, it was a bolt gun, which is kind of a more humane way of doing it. But the person writing up the article in The Sun clearly doesn't know what a bolt gun is because they wrote that sentence of humanely kill with a shotgun, which I thought was excellent.
Oh my God.
Wait, are the Sun not reputable? Because that's where I get all of my news.
Well, the definition of humane has always been in question, and it's still in question now. So, but don't worry, Pernille was right by its side, and she was so impressed by the way the horse was treated that she returned when another one of her horses died, but they were turned down by the zoo. Why do you think they turned this horse down?
Too healthy?
No, the horse was already dead, so...
Oh no.
Oh, they don't get pre-dead donations.
Yeah.
Nope, the horse was just too big to fit in the zoo's fridge.
Oh my God.
So instead, they turned it into dog food.
Well, yeah, they have a dog and a whole ham in the fridge already.
Yeah, they've got too much stuff.
Ham bone.
But like, apparently it isn't that big a deal. They've already received this year a total of 22 horses, 137 rabbits, 53 chickens, and 18 guinea pigs.
What?
Time for another horse meat scandal.
Well, they just need to strap a couple of guinea pigs together. You know, they've got equivalents of 22 horses versus 18 guinea pigs. 18 guinea pigs are just like...
Who do you think would win in a fight? A horse or 18 guinea pigs strapped together?
It's the sort of question that Aalborg Zoo are asking themselves every single day.
This is our fantasy football league, by the way. One horse or 18 guinea pigs.
Finally, it's time for round 3, the missing words round. I'm going to read out some headlines from the past week, and you just need to fill in the missing words. First up, US Air Force wants what for target practice?
Healthy pets that can be gently euthanized. Throwback again to our favourite story.
No, that's the Danish Air Force.
Oh, my mistake.
Come on.
Is it US Air Force wants willing oil-filled Middle Eastern country for target practice?
God.
Yeah,
That's their
I
equivalent.
think
Yeah, makes sense,
probably.
right?
US Air Force wants praise for target practice.
Praise.
I feel like they want praise. Praise.
Want some shiny gold stars, please?
None of those were right, actually, which is sort of strange.
What?
I actually think they were right, but not in the context of this article. The US Air Force wants Tesla Cybertrucks for target practice.
Oh.
Why is that?
The US Air Force wants to purchase 2 Tesla Cybertrucks as targets for precision-guided munitions, citing concerns that adversaries may start using them in the future.
Right.
Elon Musk.
Oh, because they turn them into these like military. There's the
Yeah.
Chechen
Chechen
leader,
lead-
isn't it?
yeah.
Who's like, we're going to use this for our army. I think that's what he sounds like.
Because he's a 12-year-old boy imagining how you fight in a war, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, this tractor's so sick, man.
It's kind of cool. So, yeah, fair enough.
Oh, Jack.
Okay, next. Man awarded $12,500 from Google after what?
Finding the answer faster on Encarta Encyclopedia.
Very nice.
Great engine. Is it man awarded $12,500 from Google after his image appears when Googling the word bellend? Tough to see.
Was it you, Jack?
Tough to see. Hey, listen, the claim's going through. Is it man awarded $12,500 from Google after he used his website to search for discreet ways to get rid of this embarrassing rash I don't want anyone to know about?
Again, was it you, Jack?
Yes, again.
Oh, no.
These are all cases I'm taking to Google.
The answer is man awarded $12,500 from Google after their Street View camera captured him naked in his garden.
No.
On a 6.5 foot high wall. And the photo still showed his exposed butt,
How?
house number, and street name.
No.
That's so good.
What did he do to hurt Google?
Yeah. And do they have cameras that can see through walls?
Yeah, well, I'm just imagining it poking up from behind the fence and like, looking around like a periscope.
What's amazing about it is because of the fact that he's then gone with this claim, everyone's gone to find that photo of his bum.
So true.
Was the Streisand effect?
Yeah. There was this story written about her and she tried to suppress it, but it made it more famous.
Yeah, the image appeared online and then on TV in Argentina.
Oh, no.
We posted this missing word on our social media channels, and congratulations to @Haunted Magazine on Twitter, who made us laugh with their response when they said, man awarded $12,500 from Google after spending 10 years closing all the Chrome tabs on his grandma's laptop. That person,
been
like,
there.
I have a million tabs open.
it's
so I
relatable.
think,
You are that grandma.
yeah, I'm 80 and I'm holding a Palestine Action plaque and I've got loads of tabs open.
You're actually calling us from prison, aren't you?
Yeah.
Fantastic Wi-Fi, which the Daily Mail is going to be furious about.
Follow Have I Got News For You on Instagram and Twitter so you can enter our missing words round when we post another one next Tuesday. And then the last one, British tug of war team pull off what?
Is it British tug of war team pull off miracle by not making sexual innuendo?
Yeah, because my thought was British tug of war team pull off captain.
There we go. Is it British tug of war team pull off the arms of their opponents?
Oh, I could imagine that happening.
That'd be pretty successful.
British tug of war team pull off the perfect rope-based heist.
That's nice.
I can also imagine that happening.
British tug of war team pull off a hernia-free tournament. First one.
The answer is British tug of war team pull off title win at World Games.
Oh.
So the men aged from 23 to 72, which is great, dethroned the defending champion Switzerland in China.
Shall I tell you how they did it? They threw away the other team's bottle that had just like pull, pull, pull written on it.
They were like, oh, what do we do? What do we do now?
They gave the direction. They were pulling it away from us, away from us, away from them, away from the team. Thank you for listening to In the News this week. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
For updates on the show, make sure you're following Have I Got News For You on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter.
You can also get in touch with us by emailing podcasts@hattrick.com. That's hattrick with 2 T's.
Make sure you follow and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening to it now, and we'll see you here for next week's episode. I think I'm going to go lock myself in the fridge and eat a whole ham.
Lovely.
Dreamy.
Bye!
Bye.
In the News this week is presented by Jack Harris, Queenie Miller, Emerald Paston and Mike Rayment. The producer is Diggory Waite. The executive producer is Claire Broughton. And the music is by Big George. In the News this week is a Hat-Trick podcast.
For the sake of any listeners who are employed by US Border Control, the views expressed by Jack Harris in the podcast about the American administration are purely fiction and for entertainment purposes only, as he enthusiastically supports every considered, well thought out, powerful, masculine and downright awesome action taken by the US President and all his associates.